Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm in a relaxed state of mind. I'm feeling good the way I should when onto the ladder I climb. Let me just... This is the last show of the week. None tomorrow, none on Friday, and then I should be back to regularly scheduled programming for months, probably till E3. But I think you might know I'm in a good mood. I'm in a relaxed, feeling comfy state of mind. I'm a man with plans. The plans are getting executed, and then I hop onto the forums. The cards have been nerfed. Oh, force of nature. It just summons tree ants that sit there. Oh, wow, they're just gonna sit there. They're just gonna be on the board, and then they're just gonna be on the board, is what they're going to be there now. Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. I actually think the nerfs look very reasonable and very smart. So now that I've stopped doing this, like looking up the day 9 gasm sort of thing, I want to give a more critical evaluation of the nerfs. Let me just go ahead and open up the nerf list really fast, because I'm sure someone wants to hear my opinion on this, and you can link them to this particular video. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down to self-post version of the nerfs. Yeah, great. There's a couple things that I think are really, really smart that are themes in here that you've heard me talk about a whole lot when I talk about HearthStone, which is design space. How do you make sure that there is enough space to make cool and interesting units? So, a big danger when you're trying to design, well, actually in any game, a big danger is that you create something that is cool, that is fun, that is useful, that players want to use, that deletes a huge range of possibility for other cool and interesting and nice things to exist. For instance, imagine if Flame Strike was a neutral spell. Imagine if all classes had access to Flame Strike. A ton of control decks would just put Flame Strike right in their deck. Suddenly, cards like Hellfire or Shadow Flame, what are other notable sweepers? Twisting Nether. These are the sorts of cards that you maybe couldn't even make as a designer, because you know that everyone would rather just go for Flame Strike. And so there's a couple of choices in here that I don't necessarily view as... This music's like way too loud. This. There's a couple things that are obvious nerfs, like making Force of Nature just summon the tree ants. But there's other things, like the Ironbeak Owl going from a cost of 2 to 3. That's a really interesting one that is kind of saying we want to make more interesting properties on cards in the future. We don't want them to get deleted. We're making Silence a more expensive ability, like the Keeper of the Grove. Health reduced from 4 to 2. Oh my god, it's a 2/2 that costs 4? Ugh. It's a really expensive Silence now. Those are the things that really interest me a ton. I think Leper Gnome is also in that category. It's just kind of an auto-include on the aggressive end of things, which makes it harder to design 1-mana cards, I would imagine, without making them ridiculously powerful, such as with the Trog for Shaman. Arcane Golem, Gutting Charge. This more seems like we're going to remove something that has degenerate properties, like Arcane Golem, double Cold Blood, hit, Shadow Step, hit, Shadow Step, hit, that sort of thing. I'm really satisfied with a lot of those. Same thing with Big Game Hunter, cost increase from 3 to 5. Why use a class card removal spell when there is this 3-mana, extremely efficient removal creature? I mean, there's a ton of mages that run one polymorph and one big game hunter, because the big game hunter is basically a cheaper way to deal with huge threats. No reason to run 2 polymorphs instead. So I really like that change quite a bit, and Hunter's Mark cost increase from 0 to 1. That feels like the same logic to me. I don't think that it necessarily needed to do anything to today's Hunter. I feel pretty much fine with today's Hunter. But that seems like a change that lets them say, we want to keep Hunter's Mark. All these other card ideas that we had that would be really cool, well, a hunter could just delete it and break through. That's not that interesting. So, like, that collection of things, again, I think are choices that Blizzard is making to allow them to do cooler things in the future that don't really matter right now. And that's actually how I view Blade Flurry, that says cost increase from 2 to 4, only targets enemy minions. That fucks up present-day Rogue. That actually takes Rogue, an underplayed class, and makes it worse. And that's the sort of thing where if you're a player, you go, wait, what? No one plays Rogue, and now you're making the one thing that Rogue can do worse? Are you kidding me? Well, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. If Rogues are supposed to be a weapon class, and there's this 2-mana sweeper and burst damagey thing that synergizes extremely well with every weapon and everything that has to do with weapons, such as Poison Dagger, Assassin's Blade, and their Tinker's Sharp Sword of Oil. Like any of these things, it synergizes so well with that it's almost too good for future designs. Like that's another one of those things that I look at and I go, okay, that makes sense. And a lot of people are talking about it in relation to weapons, but I also think that there are not as many interesting sweepers when considering Rogue because Blade Flurry is so good as a sweeper. This makes me say, you can make more interesting weapons and you can make more interesting sweepers. I think that this still may be a little over-nerfed, but I like the fact that it's going more towards the opening up the sweeper space and opening up the weapon space for Rogue. I think that, for instance, Dark Iron Skulker is a really cool card that, why would you run, man? You can just put Blade Flurry in the deck. So those are the sort of things that I think are going to be awesome for the future design of Hearthstone, and I'm really excited. And see, I've seen a lot of people say that, again, it seems like 4 mana is too much. I think it's too much for present tense today's Rogue and the 1 or 2 minutes I spent thinking about what new cards they could introduce. I think it is too much for that set. But I do not think it is too much when I consider the full space of possible designs. So overall, I'm just over the moon. They're trying to kill charge. They're trying to kill these extreme-y corner casey things. I mean, I even have appreciation for the Molten Giant up to 25. That makes sense.
Buying or selling.
We're gonna kill him and we're gonna mill him. Yeah, sorry this is my last show of the week this week. Going out of town again, 2 trips in 2 weeks. Is this Fatigue Mage round 3? You bet your butt it is. Jaji Jafif. I might just try to Fatigue Mage my way to Legend. Let's see, it's the 20th? Yeah, it's coming out next week, man. One time? Duplicate one time? Oof, God, that sucks. Scratch my little eyeball.
Death does not scare me.
Underdog 887 says, I think 4 mana may be fair for Blade Flurry if you compare it to Shadow Flame, destroying a minion versus your weapon. Yeah, I think that's a really, really fantastic comparison. That's an amazing comparison. Yeah, like not a lot of people get up in arms about Shadow Flame. gosh, it's trumpet, it's trumpet. Hold on, we're gonna go to this screen, we're gonna go to this one.
Put this apple on your head.
Come on, do it. Go to this one. Oh, yes. Nail jam. Seems good. Cushion down with a sub.
Why do you call?
Would you stop calling me? Be very careful with these turtle. God, that's such a great comparison. Shadow Flame costs 4 mana and destroys a creature. That's an incredible point, Mr. 887. Wow. Yeah, and I mean, that's okay in that particular world because it's okay in that particular world because you get a lot of creatures out on the board. So I can imagine a rogue having tons of cards that keep putting weapons onto the board. So the rogues just always have... see, Mastel, yeah, because rogues might always have weapons in a future version. See, Mastel says, we aren't upset about Shadowflame because locks also have one. Rogues really don't have another sweeper. And see, that's the thing that I was talking about earlier, where if you don't have... if you don't have an alternative way, I'm not saying that very well. If you don't have another way, Blade Flurry is such a good card as a sweeper. There's literally no other sweeper that you need as rogue. You make another card? Why would I play it, man? Oh. Isn't that sad? Okay. So I know we're probably gonna have to do this. There we go. Oof, oof. Whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, I think Blizzard did some really good things in this particular thing. This particular recent change. Because there's not actually that many other charged minions on it. Oh, that's great. No, do that. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. As long as he can't kill Bran, we're in unbelievable shape. And, I mean, if he does kill Bran, we're still in fine shape. Is power overwhelming it? Okay, it works fine. Unless he goes from his face. What a mistake. So I can do this for sure. I think I do want to do this.
What to do? What to do?
Okay. I think I still want to do this. That hurt pretty bad. It's a good one to kill. I think there's no way we lose. I think. So Rockwaffle says, I'm curious as to if you think Ancient of Lore is worth playing now. The body's very weak in my opinion for one card. I agree. Ancient of Lore doesn't look like a great card anymore. Don't call me Dave, so I really feel like the charge nerfs really gave Warrior that charge roll now. Seems like they're pushing hard for them to be the go-to class for charge rather than all classes being totally charge viable. I think that's a great point. I love that idea of quiet design. Like, we're not talking explicitly about warriors, but that just kind of winds up being the case. And we don't need to explain this to you, we just remove a thing here, change some silences there, done. It seemed like a minimum set of possible changes to have a relatively large impact. This seems like some odd choices that he's making. Yeah, he really made some bad choices. I'm also especially excited because I can play Priest now. It's all fine. All works good for me now.
Stop yelling!
By the power of Ragnarok, I have power! I'm almost out of cards.
I'm really happy with this play.
My shield for Argus!
Okay. Oh. Seems good for us. I think it's unlikely he can pop this block this turn. ASP Rider 85, what is up? Oh look, we're up against Knight. I didn't even notice. Give me two. Okay. That's dirty, man. That's such a dirty turn, man. See, this game that of HearthStone that I just played felt really fun. A lot of opportunities for people to build the board. Even if I lose, I felt like I was making a lot of decisions. It makes me feel all special. Okay. This is going to be hard for him to win. Why Doomsayer there? Because, I mean, it just completely shuts it all down.
You win this time.
I'm in a mood to win the video games today.
Jaina versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild.
You asked for it.
Let's see here. It's a druid. It's a druid, guys.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
A nice, relaxing, chill day. Veggie Leezy says, somewhat related to my current situation, I have a question for Day 9 TV, if I may. Veggie Leezy, I'm right on looking at you. You may. You may. You may. You may. Tell me. It looks like we're going to win this game by getting 10 Death Lords. Have I got my hands on Shadows or Innistrad yet? No. Dude, okay, let me tell you something. I get to work sometime between 9 and 10:30-ish. That works. It's all good. It's all good. Get to work sometime between 9, 10:30, somewhere in that range. Probably right around 9:30, 9:45. Right there. Right there. Right there. And then, at that point, then, I work till 6, come home, do the show. Generally finish, 8:45 or so. And recently I've had some other recordings that I've been making. Doing some little extra video work for the Atlassian. And then do it again the next day. Keep doing that till Friday when I do my day off stream. And Friday night and Saturday day is generally when I have my time off. And then Sunday, just go back to work again. So I've been hitting the grindstone hard. And consequently, I just haven't been doing any Magic Gathering. I have not been doing the explosive media rush that I wish to be doing in my life. Veggie Leezy says, so after recently being let go from my most recent job, I've been considering going back to school, and I've been looking into video games as a career. However, I've always been more of a writer than a programmer or coder. Do you have any experience or advice for someone looking to go down the video game writing track? Ogre Brute. I see what we're working on.
Does not scare me.
This is a good run.
Well played.
Maybe we're dead. So, all my understanding of writing, whether it be novel writing, script writing, creative writing, of any form, video game writing, it's just a hard field to get into. Just gonna run this out in Echo, man. I give no dams. I give none. So I feel like for that writing career, your mic volume could use a bit of a boost. Did it turn down again? Let's check it together. Well, I mean, I am just talking more quietly today anyways, so... We're gonna get a big echo, man. Yeah, I mean, I hope it actually sounds reasonable. I mean, I'm not doing anything that different. I'm just talking quieter today. Yeah, the settings are still good. Still good in the hood, man. Oh, I just ran you down for that reason. Okay, so let's do this.
Death does not scare me.
Fools! For science!
Sucks. Yeah, I think that writing is just a very hard field to break into. So I think that the incorrect thing to do is to say, so I'm not going to break into it. I'm not even going to try to do anything related to it. Isn't that sad for him? Would you look at that? I'm serious, I'm just going to Deathlord him to death, man. Yeah, no, it works great, thanks. Appreciate that. Unless he's trying to mill me. What's this deck? It's a Deathlord deck. So I feel like what you need to do is if you want to go down the writing path, you have multiple tongs in the fire. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be like a nearly perfect turn for me.
Death does not scare me. Death does not scare me.
Well played.
It's just this is my Deathlord deck. What I do is I continue to get Deathlords. So I mean, I think that if you have sort of a more present tense type job or work to focus on, and a bit more of a longer term type job to focus on, I think this is just an easy flame strike. That would probably be my approach if I were trying to get into that. So let me say I were you, like, something I've always thought about is I could always fall back on education. I really like teaching, so maybe I work on teaching craft and do tutoring and something present tense, maybe work towards a degree in education to be able to teach at a public school, or to, maybe I would probably hunt for forms of education that aren't as intensive as teaching at a public school, something that would be more like 30 hours a week, so I could spend an additional 30 hours a week working on my writing craft, something like that. That's where my head would be at.
Show them all!
We've almost won, man. Would I recommend a scientific or artistic degree in college? I know for a fact that a scientific degree is an extremely high value thing. Man, he's drawn hard. Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact scientific fields do really, really well. I think I have to do this. I think it's just too awesome.
Who knows what secrets
I'm almost out of cards. Out of cards.
Oh yeah, this is definitely...
Time runs out.
Feels good. I gotta say that feels like it was the correct play. Where there's a mill, there's a way. I sort of sense what my future is. Innervate Savage Roar, Savage Roar? Still don't think this does it.
Time waits for no one.
Look at how close to being dead we almost were.
Your history.
We're gonna take a micro break. Yes! Top ranker, baby. All I do is play Death Lords all day. It's gonna be a micro break, watch this.